Happy Mother's Day. Mama Bear's back. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV's weekly recap of Days of Our Lives. And as I said earlier, Mama Bear's back.
I'm just trying to figure out who is Mama Bear. Like, you said that, and we both burst out in laughter because I'm like, who is Mama Bear?
You're Mama Bear.
What?
Tell everybody who you are and where they can find you.
Well, folks, in case you forgot who I am Tony Moore.
Is that
you
mine?
can find
Yes.
me on all social media platforms at Lounge with Tony on my website, loungewithtony.com.
Okay,
Who's being unprofessional?
That's not me. Mine's off now.
Mine's off. Is that you?
No.
Mine's off.
Oh, mine's off. Yep. Okay.
And we also have...
Matthew Evan Paine. Welcome back, Tony.
Thanks.
Welcome back, Mama Bear.
Thanks.
How was your time away?
I thought you were referring to yourself as Mama Bear.
I thought so too. I mean, you are the oldest of the group. Happy Mother's Day to you and Lorraine.
Oh, thank you. Lorraine was out.
I saw
it last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? She's never looked better.
That's
better.
not saying much.
Well, you looked amazing.
Like just some mascara and lipstick and ran out the door.
Was it fun?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I wanted to go out afterwards, but by the time when I got done, it was like 7, and then got back to I was like, I'm not gonna go sit in West Hollywood at 8 o'clock in full drag. Like I was like, I just didn't want to. It would have made for such a long night.
Yeah.
So I was like, forget it. I'm going home and washing it off.
Oh no.
But it was fun.
You should have went to the grocery store.
He hung around his apartment.
I know.
Right. He walked
Full
around his
drag.
apartment.
Pretty much. I did.
Yeah.
If I was you, I want to be me too.
Did you hang out at your house or did you go over to Billy's?
No, but then the following Monday, did you see? We all went
I
to
did.
Mickey's, me and Billy, and I got to hang out with Gina, and
Yes.
Gina and my husband met. I have video of Gina and my husband dancing. It's fantastic.
It's really fantastic.
And then Brendan Coughlin, who plays T, he showed up, and he was so funny because at one point it was just me and him sitting there, and he goes, "Now I have to tell you, when Billy texted me and said, 'Come meet me at Mickey's,' I thought he was up to something. I thought I was going to show up and no one was going to be here. He was just trying to get me to go to a gay bar by myself." So it was fun. We had a really good time.
Yeah, I saw Gina's picture with Bianca Del Rio,
Yeah.
and I saw that it was at Mickey's, and I was like, oh my God, I used to host that show, and blah, blah, blah. And Gina was like, oh, I'm here with Mark. And I was like, careful. He's handsy. He's handsy.
We had fun. It was fun because we were sitting there and Bianca walked by and she's like, "Oh, there's Bianca." And I said, and she's like, "I would love to get a picture." I'm like, "Well, I'll go ask her. I don't give a shit."
But Bianca's real nice, though.
She was really nice, but she was with Mariah. And so I know Mariah better. I never met Bianca, but we're totally talking about Drag Race now. But I walked over and I was like, "Hi, how are you?" And then I just kind of made it a general because I didn't want Mariah to feel bad. But I was like, when you have a moment, my friends over here would love a picture with you. And I just said a general you.
thing.
So she ended up coming over by herself. I think
nice.
Mariah kind of figured it out. But
you were like, don't you come over.
yeah, don't
Just
you come over and don't look at Billy too long. But yeah. But
Did
it
you
was fun.
implant a tracking device on Gina?
Yeah, I know their moves all week. I've been tracking them.
OMG.
So make sure you guys follow us on Instagram and Twitter for Dishin Days. Let's
Yes.
get back to the show.
Yes.
Focus. Instagram, Dishin Days, _, Dishin Days on Twitter.
Yes.
Facebook, Dishin Days.
Yes.
Lounging with Tony for a good time.
An amazing time.
And make sure you go to iTunes and give us a rating and write a little review.
Well, a rating of 5 stars, really.
5-star would be
And a
fantastic.
comment, please.
I mean, if you want to put 4, that's fine.
No, that's not fine.
But
we don't do
No,
four.
I
It's
don't
not
understand.
okay.
You need to really explain why it's 4 then, because I can't imagine.
Or don't put 4 stars.
No, just do 5.
Just do 5.
Let's do 5. That's
Let's
the
keep it
only
up.
option. 5.
Let's keep it up. And Alexis, if you want to give a little shout, give it up for Alexis in the booth.
Yay!
Alexis!
Hi,
The
everybody.
wedding is
Hi.
approaching.
Yes.
Yep.
Nervous? Are you nervous yet, girl?
It's not really nerves. It's
Have you
more-
changed your mind at all?
No. Especially after seeing an ex at brunch today, I was like, "Yup, I'm so happy I'm
Yeah,
not in the dating game
good.
anymore." It's
Yeah.
so
Good.
nice.
Fine.
So
Yeah.
Alexis she'll be chatting with you guys in the chat room. You guys, we all have it on. So what did you guys? Tony had some catching up to do. What did you think of this
I
week?
did. Okay, so hey everyone in the chat room. Sorry, like everyone's like, oh Tony, hello everyone. Okay, so
That's so funny. I don't see that on mine.
really? Well,
Interesting.
you know why? Because it's so tiny, you can't read it. Put your glasses on,
hold
lady.
on.
Put your glasses
Oh,
on.
there
lady.
it is. There it is. Okay, got it.
So as I told you guys before we started, I'm really bad, and I will admit I hadn't watched Days in like a month.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
True.
And,
True.
So
Touche.
I was hearing tidbits here and there. I tuned into Dishin Days every now and then to kind of hear what was happening and stuff. And so I started last week, and surprisingly, I was like, I don't feel like I've missed much.
Right.
But I will say, I thought this week was really good, and I'm really vested in this whole Grease storyline, but more so on the Nicole Eric Xander
Totally.
Right.
end of things. I think there's something very interesting about that. So I thought that was great.
Matthew.
I agree. I don't care about the Salem side of this story whatsoever. I don't want.
You guys pretty much think we should never go back to Salem. We should just stay in Greece.
Well, technically they are in Salem if you looked at the cafe.
Oh,
that
girl,
they
we
were
know.
at. I saw
Ain't
that.
no one fooling.
I saw that and I was like, Mark is going to say something. He's going to be like, girl, that is Club TBD.
Can that be, because I have like 5 segments now. I know my segments keep adding up, but I think I should do that. Each week is, you ain't fooling me, girl.
I like it.
A little. Straight
Little
up,
ain't
there you
fooling
go,
me,
girl.
girl.
Yeah.
I like that. What'd you think?
I was kind of like, I was kind of indifferent.
Yeah.
I don't like
whatever.
I don't like Sonny and Paul trying to be the heroes.
You don't like it?
I do not like it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like
And-
I'm like she's got Eric. Nicole's got Eric.
Well, everyone's trying to be a hero at this
Well,
point.
but
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, I mean, I guess they are trying to help Nicole, but I think it's more
the
to get
takedown of Deimos. Which I get.
And I, think
just
it's
don't.
just coincidence that she's there too.
I don't know.
So
Oh my God, I pulled a mark. I had something and then, I'm a little worried.
how old are you now? It happens, girl.
A month later, honey. I'm actually a little worried about this whole Chad
Amulet
amulet
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that has all these
curses.
curses and things, and I'm like,
Don't worry, Billy's gonna be fine. He's not going anywhere, girl.
well, I know, but I'm just like, where? I'm like, where are they going with that? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's that. There's
All
that.
right.
There's the week for me.
If we have time, we'll take some calls. I know we started late, so we may not get to that, but we will do our best to push through this and
We
maybe
can just
take some
skip the
phone
first
calls.
one then.
That's not going to happen. All right, so it's time to start
Dishin'
Dishin' Days. Flip it and forget it.
Flip it and forget it.
So as usual, when I lead host, we will always start with Chad, and more Chad. I think
Oh
that
my
could be a
God.
segment of mine as well.
I think it is.
Oh my
I think it's called
It's
Dishin'
already-
Days.
It's
Yeah.
already a segment. It's already a segment.
But by that, I kind of smushed what I call the mass exodus to Greece as one storyline
my
because there's so
God.
many people that are, and I feel like they're all kind of tied together. So I thought we can just start talking about that because we'll
Yes.
get a lot of stuff out of the way doing that.
Yes.
So let's count them. Chad's there.
Uh-huh.
Hope followed.
Andre.
Andre showed up in his sweater with the D.
Oh, I thought that was so funny.
I had to do a double take, girl.
Yeah.
Eli. Oh yeah, Eli, JJ, Lonnie.
JJ, Lonnie, and Gabby are all
And
on
Gabby,
the way.
who's a new flight attendant, got a new
Yes.
career. That was a sudden surprise.
And then you have Eric.
Eric, Nicole, Xander,
Holly.
Holly.
Holly's
And that's it.
Holly's having a beer and a cigarette.
Oh, and then
She's
on
like,
the
this is too much.
right, and then on the way are Deimos.
Oh, Deimos, Sonny,
and
and
Paul.
Paul. So we're at 14 of the characters are in Greece
Greece. Yeah,
or on their way.
yeah. It's almost like where were they when they tried to catch Stefano?
Aramid?
Prague.
No, Prague.
Oh, Prague. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
almost
yeah,
like
yeah.
Prague again.
I was going much further back.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
Um,
were. Shows how old you are, lady.
Which was also weird, by the way, when Hope ran into Chad. Was
Okay,
that this week?
This is yes, and this is what I think is happening. I think the writers do watch our show, and they know that I love me some Billy Flynn, and I hate Hope, and they're like, let's just mess with her. Let's put them in scenes together. Because I was so torn all week. I was like covering up half my screen. Oh, Billy. Oh, there she is.
I believe you.
Yeah, literally.
So, was anyone else with me when Hope walked in? It's like, okay, girl.
I
like,
know.
Are y'all really trying to integrate her to
Everything.
possible storyline?
She was like, have you
Everything.
heard any word from your father?
I can't.
I
can't.
I don't dislike the character of Hope, but I just don't understand her reason of being in certain places sometimes.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
It doesn't make sense that she's just there to watch over him for Abby. Like, that just doesn't make sense. You haven't
no.
given two craps about Abby
Abigail,
up until this point.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And one little
This
bump.
is why I drink.
One little bump into each other in Horton Square, and now Hope is all about Abigail and.
I can't. So that's going on. Then Andre just appeared.
Yes.
I kind of drifted because Hope was there, so I missed a little bit. If you guys want to tell them why Andre was there.
I mean, it was basically starting to be a tug and pull where Hope was trying to figure out why Chad was there, where Andre was just like, I'm just going to tell you. So that way, it
Right.
can kind of convince him not to go through with this. And if he does, then Hope knows and can be there to hopefully throw him in jail. So it's kind of like
But
that.
she can't, which was a discussion as well. You don't have your.
Jurisdiction.
Who are you? They're like, girl, get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that in Salem to her.
Did anyone catch the reason for why that girl flipped out on Andre? All of a sudden, started hitting him with the purse and all that kind
I
of stuff.
drifted.
I missed like what happened for some
I
reason.
come very prepared to do a
Yes,
weekly
yes,
recap of Days of Our
yes.
Lives by half watching. For the record.
I feel like that's supposed to be a
and
secret.
if this tells you
Tail end of
anything,
that.
I am most prepared for this job than any other job I've ever had.
especially
And
when
it's
it comes
half.
to Billy Flynn.
Then it's full.
Is he
on
the
full
sole
blast.
Unless
reason you
they
watch
throw
Days of Our
Hope
Lives?
in the scene, then it just messes with me. Huh?
Is he the sole reason you watch Days of Our Lives?
At this point, absolutely. I've already messaged him. I said, girl, when you're gone, I'm gone. I'm following him. Done.
Oh,
So
I see.
get ready to recast this role.
Someone said Chad pinched her leg near where Andre was sitting.
Oh,
And
okay.
she thought it was Andre. Got it.
Okay. Thank God you guys watched the show.
Thanks, guys.
So that was one of, and then also too, we should talk because we kind of touched on it last week. The amulet that is
Yes.
cursing things, and he knocked over the figurine for Abigail, and it shattered. Although I find it very hard to believe that they didn't bubble wrap that figurine,
Right.
Especially if it was so fragile.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So is that like the beginning of the things to happen?
Yes, it's. I mean, you can tell that that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of,
Woogity boogity things.
That's the technical term.
Yeah.
But
Laura,
you might want to
Woogity woogity
rephrase
things.
that for the people that don't understand the technical terms.
Laura in the chat room says, I half watch Days too, Mark. That's why I watch your recap show.
You are screwed, Laura.
Speaking of the chat room, say hello to our newest member.
Oh yes. Scott McCann is
Hi,
in the
Scott.
is in
Hi,
the chat
Scott.
room. Said he's in there for the first time.
Well, hello,
Welcome.
Scott. I'm
Welcome. Glad
you're
we
there.
got to be here for your first time.
Yeah. Pop that cherry.
Wrap it. Anyway,
I caught it.
gotta be safe. So that's one of the things. Now the other mass exodus to Greece is Sonny and Paul,
Right.
who
Yes.
are trying to figure out what's going on with Deimos. So that's happening, and we'll smush into there Gabby, who decided to start a new career as a flight attendant.
Is that now? Why exactly are Eli, JJ, and Lonnie
Lonnie
going
for the
about
same
about
reason for
amulet?
Deimos.
Okay.
For Deimos as well,
Okay.
right? Am I correct
right.
in that?
Okay.
And that's all. And then Gabby wants to go because she wants to see his face when you take him down.
Yeah.
Right.
Girl, we'll take a picture. We'll take a screenshot.
Yeah, we'll send it right to you.
Right to you. It is 2017.
He locked
girl.
me in a meat locker. And
We're like, girl, we know. Twice.
Okay, so I'm sure this has been talked about, but now that I'm seeing things that
Now
are
we want to
happening-
talk about it with you.
Yeah, thank you. So Gabby Eli ? Right now. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about that.
Oh, okay.
I think this happened last week, but that little
dance.
dance, girl.
Girl, it was all about, I was waiting for the Hayden dance clip because it
Oh
was
my
all
gosh.
about dance clips last week.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, maybe she'll fall and hit her head on another rock and so we can play the clip.
So, but anywho, it's I'm okay with it now, but it's just kind of like, but she's still thinking about Chad and wanting to be with Chad, and I'm just like,
That's what I did. And
Just be with Chad.
Was it just me or did that seem odd? Because I felt
Yeah.
like they're really gearing it to her and Eli, but then they kept doing those flashes of her and Chad, and I was like, where's this coming
why
from?
are you doing this?
Yeah.
It just didn't jive for
But
me.
it seemed
I
like-
said jive. Jive.
yeah, jive. I feel like they do that with Chad too. Like sometimes he has those moments
Random.
of thinking about,
Yeah.
Gabby, and I'm just like, why?
Work on your marriage.
It's like, it's like, why are we?
But see, that's the thing is when he speaks, that's what he talks about.
Yeah.
Saving the
But
marriage,
his
being
thoughts-
here. But then the thought, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
girl.
But
Girl.
before Gabby got on the plane as the flight attendant, I didn't like.
I love. Okay, first of all, I just have to say, I love how they busted out the flight attendant outfit from the 1940s. She's like, you know what? I'm not just gonna go on and be a flight attendant. I'm gonna get a cute ass outfit.
It's an international
I
flight
interrupted you.
where
Go
they
ahead.
dress like Pan Am.
Yeah.
Oh yes. And I thought for a second I was just like, why is she dressed as a flight attendant? And I was like, oh, because she couldn't just hop on the flight. She had to like
have a reason, right?
Yeah. But before that happened, I didn't like the way that she talked to Eli about not understanding why
Yes.
she couldn't be involved in that conversation about the case.
I agree.
She acted like a baby.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this since you're talking about Eli and Gabby, and I don't know if we talked about this, so I don't know how you feel, Matthew. I'm digging Gabby and Eli.
Yeah.
I'm kind of digging it.
With the exception of this week, I agree. Just because she wasn't, like Tony said, very
Right.
nice to him.
I'm at a question mark.
I think part of the reason I like it too is the Julie factor, as I'll call it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like.
Oh my,
she
sticking it
doesn't-
to Julie again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I don't. I think that's like collateral damage. Like I think that she's not intentionally trying to go after Julie by dating Eli. I think she genuinely likes him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Julie will be pissed as a result of it.
Right. And then the other reason they're in Greece is Xander, Nicole, and Eric.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Xander.
I had a draft beer. So I'm a little burpy.
Correction, draft beers.
No, I only had one, but if we had a waitress, I would probably order another.
Waitress.
Where's James Lott Jr. when you need that girl? So Xander has now, as we brought up last week, has dusted off Jan Spears' cage and brought it to Greece. And has put hope in our hope. Oh, only one could dream. One could dream. Drop it in acid
Are you
too
trying
while you're
to
at it.
speak something into existence?
Do you get a lot of tweets about your dislike?
Actually, I don't. Surprisingly, I
Make
think
sure
there's a
to
lot of
tweet
people.
Mark J. Freeman.
I do think that a lot of people are. And again, I don't hate her. I don't know
Well,
Christian Alfonso, first of all, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
But this has nothing to do with her, obviously. But I think other people. I think the thing that I do get is that people agree that she is being forced down our throat. That a lot of it is just
Yes.
we're trying to work her into every storyline, and I don't understand it. But that being said, anyway, so Xander has Nicole. I thought that I did enjoy their scenes together, Xander and Nicole, and just kind of rehashing what had happened between them, talking about when he, put Nicole and Eric in the heat thing, and they had to get naked and all that stuff. I thought that was all cool. I liked the little trip down memory lane and stuff.
Speaking of memory lane, I watched Friday's episode with my friend Kelly, and we were maybe halfway through the episode, and she said to me, "What is with all the with the recap? They are recapping everything."
Yeah.
Gabby was recapping.
Yep.
Eric was recapping. Nicole, obviously. Chloe with Brady. I mean, one big let's talk about the past.
I do feel like that's one thing that this writing has gone back to, because there was a short amount of time too where it was turn and burn, like things were getting dragged out and they weren't repeating stuff, which is definitely the way that I think that it should. I don't understand. I get it that they have a formula and it's worked for 52 years. I get that.
Well,
but at the same time,
right.
Times are changing. People can download. People can watch things back. People can read. I just don't see I would so much rather it go to that. Could you imagine if they did it at the pace of like Melrose Place or Dynasty, those where you got them once a week and they moved and it was just, imagine if you had 5 days of that, girl.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I called Mark because I had just started my
Should I
Days of
play
Our
the
Lives
voicemail?
trip. Can you play it?
I'm sure I can. Let's hope the microphone can pick it up. But I have
That
it.
would be.
I don't think I deleted it. I mean, I typically delete your voice. Oh no, it's here. Okay, I'm gonna put it on speaker.
So I will preface this. So I'm getting back into watching Days of Our Lives, and I had this thought, and it dawned on me like maybe why Days hasn't progressed. And I called Mark and I left him this voicemail.
All right, let's see if this picks up. Oh, hold on, because I turned my sound off.
Mark J. Freeman. So I decided to call you instead of leaving instead of text messaging you, because I wanted you to hear my voice as I say this. So I'm watching Days, and it dawned on me, I know what the problem with Days is now, is that they haven't updated their writing to, present tense. As I sit here and watch Nicole being locked up in a cage, I thought to myself, do people still lock people up in cages? Are we still doing that? No, we shouldn't be doing that. People don't do cages no more. That is very 1990.
Right.
Get with the times, Days. Anyway, that's all. I'll see you Sunday. Bye.
I never thought how funny that was. Now that I listen back to it.
Yes, thank you. Deserves a round of applause.
I literally thought, so many people have been locked up in a cage. There was Marlena, there was Sean Douglas, there was Hope. There, and in 2017,
why couldn't they leave her there?
We're still locking people in cages. There was no other method of.
Well, I think the reason is they got a meat delivery, so they couldn't use the meat locker.
I mean, he couldn't just trap her in the house and that's it. It had to go as far as
if there were armed
cage.
guards, there was no need for the cage. Why did they wheel the cage out? Just to build that moment for us to be like, oh God, she's locked in a cage.
Yeah.
To in the next scene immediately take her out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And
it's a waste of a cage.
Well, it also kind of goes back and forth, because there are times where Xander is very harsh on her and realizes just how Nicole is. We all know how Nicole is. She can be very seductive and very alluring when she needs to be.
Right.
And he still falls for that, but yet he recognizes that that's what she does.
Yeah.
And then I was also kind of so is Xander in love with Nicole?
I don't think he's over her.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he's over her.
But you know what's weird is that even though he's like this towards her, I still like them together.
I do too.
I really wish that would have happened and not all
Well,
this other
he even
stuff
said
that's
to her,
happening.
and I remember this. I remember him saying this, because he even said something about her being so hot, and then she's settling for Eric, and da-da-da-da. And I was just like, he still loves her.
Yeah.
He still is hung up on her.
Yeah.
But also talking about, you were talking about, Nicole being seductive and stuff. One of the parts I really did enjoy this week too was when Xander left her alone, and she was trying to get the guards to listen to her and try to escape and snap. And she was trying to be all seductive with the guy on the front porch.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, ain't gonna happen, girl. I almost peed myself. I just thought it was so funny how she was just like, wait a minute, Nicole. What has happened to you? This is not the Nicole that I know, and you can do this. And da-da-da. And then she opens her. He's like, bitch.
I like.
Although he didn't seem very menacing to me.
She was like, she went outside. It was just like, oh, so Xander isn't here, and I there's this book that
on the top
can
shelf.
you come in? And he's like,
Read a magazine,
yeah.
girl.
Well, no, it's like not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, Nicole, that was not gonna work. Boo.
I like
Sorry.
the next time she went out though, she like pepped herself up, like
Yes.
gave herself a pep talk.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was like, it's showtime.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
opened the door. I just love that she was ready because I feel like it would have worked that next time.
No, not until Eric turned around.
I've said this multiple times, and I'm going to say it again. I could watch an hour of Nicole talking to
talking
herself.
to
100%.
There's just something she does with it that is so entertaining that I just can't get enough of it. I literally could just watch the Nicole Walker show.
I talked to her and Sean Christian at the Emmys after the award show, and I told her the same thing, and she laughed. I mean, she is a bombshell.
Oh,
She's
completely.
stunning.
Completely.
They were
Yeah.
they were really so nice.
And I don't know if you watched our show last week or was it the week before. I don't remember when we talked about the Daytime Emmys, that I did actually try to get an interview with Sean Christian.
Oh.
You can actually see him, and I don't know who I'm interviewing. In one of my interviews, you can see him. He kind of steps into frame a couple times. Bitch. And I was doing that, and then they passed, they kept going, and I couldn't get him to come back. But I was trying because I thought that would be another instant success.
It would have been. Well, it would have been amazing to see you interact with
Sean Christian.
I was thinking more of Daniel Jonas, but
Well.
yeah. But that would have been a great moment.
Yeah.
I did. Oh, congratulations on the Emmys. I don't think
Thank
I
you.
told you guys that.
Thank you.
But I did ask Mark to make sure he got an interview with Kyler, but it didn't happen.
And they were another group that they got close,
And then zoomed by.
Then they
Zoomed
zoomed
by.
by. So we did notice that
Yeah.
right away. We were like, oh, we missed them.
April Miss Kimmin in the chat room said Eli is dreaming and the actor has so much charisma. Love him. Lamone Archie was stunning in person.
Yeah.
Like drop dead gorgeous, which he's attractive on the show,
Yeah.
but he's like other level in real life.
And he was so sweet.
And so sweet.
And if you'd like to watch my interview with him, just Google it.
Yeah.
You guys should post. Did you post it
Yeah.
on the Dishin Days page?
Oh, I don't know. Did we put him on the Dishin Days
We
page?
will.
We will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of them are
You
there.
put because there's like a link.
Yeah, to all
all
of
the
them. We'll do
interviews. I
the
thought
link
you
to
did
all
that.
of them. I
Okay.
thought I don't know.
We'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
Okay.
I mean, I know
Especially now that we're
after
talking
mine
about it.
were edited, I know I tweeted them out and tagged like all of the people that I interviewed in them. So I know that they're out there, but I don't know if I put it on the Dishin
Yeah,
Days
you guys should definitely watch them because they are very entertaining.
It was
was so
fun.
much fun.
It was fun. And then, so we covered the first two actually, because Nicole, Xander, and Eric were the.
That was the bread
well,
of the
actually,
week.
we
That-
didn't really talk about Eric too much, and I feel like we should definitely talk about him. And he left Jen back behind, and she wanted to go.
Well, can I
Sit
just
down, Jen.
Can I talk about? Can I mention?
You can
this?
talk about anything you want, Tony. Welcome back,
Thank
Mama
you.
Bear.
I knew you were gonna work that in there. Okay, so there was a moment where I was like, okay, Nicole, be shocked or whatever you need to be, but girl, grab them and go.
Yeah.
Talk about that on the plane.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? When she
totally.
when
Save
she-
it for Salem.
Yeah.
Like when she turned around and saw it was him, I was like, okay, have that moment. But then when he was able to grab Holly,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, girl, like let's go. And or that second when he burst in and like knocked Xander out.
Yeah.
It's like, girl,
Go!
let's go.
Go!
You know what I mean? Like
Pedal to the
why-
metal.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, so now you're both captured, and now instead of being on a plane back to Salem, you're now stuck in a room
And you're
talking
gonna
about
fight?
this.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yes, I do too.
She has to have this moment, but there was a moment where I thought to myself, because she blamed Eric literally for everything that has happened.
In her life.
Yes, since Daniel died. But I'm
Yes.
thinking to myself, No, girl, because you are the one that kidnapped Holly and started running away. So actually, the fact that you're in Greece is now your fault because you're running all through Salem and Canada and all this kind of stuff with Holly, where if you had just stayed in Salem, you wouldn't be in Greece right now.
So I told you guys that I had watched with my friend Kelly, who hasn't watched Days of Our Lives in years, and when Nicole was telling Eric off, she was like, "This bitch used to be crazy. She used to ruin people's lives."
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, we.
Daquan in the chat room said he should have saved Holly and left Nicole in Greece. Daquan, don't treat her like Melanie.
It's just it's just weird that she would. I get being upset about Daniel because she literally did the steps to ensure that he did not get behind the wheel, and he did anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And that cost Daniel his life. But at the same time, it's like you can't blame him for all the other things that have happened since then, and that's not his fault.
Right.
Right.
So I feel like at some point there needs to be a kumbaya moment, and I think that this has been years in the making.
Right.
They're face to face. They need to get this out. They need to get this aggression out. But at the same time, I kind of hope that Days allows Eric to be her knight in shining armor.
I hope so too.
So that way, that kind of puts a little okay, you are a good guy.
Right.
I hate what you did, but you're still a good guy.
I think that what they're doing is they're doing a setup where Nicole in the next week or two will discover the handwritten letters from Eric
I think
to
so
Nicole.
too. I think so too. Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
definitely going to come back into play.
Right,
Definitely
which I
gonna
think
come
is
back
going
into
to
play.
change her opinion of, wow, he really, really means it.
Yeah.
He's really sorry.
Yeah.
Although she couldn't hear sorry the several times he tried to say
Stop
it.
saying sorry.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh girl, what else is he supposed to say? Oh, also side note, Brady being shot and now the heart being rejected.
Right.
I'm like,
How can it be rejected this far? Is that realistic that it could be rejected this
Well,
far?
it's because of the gunshot.
yes.
No, yeah,
The
I get
trauma
that.
from the gunshot is making his body reject it.
Is
Yeah.
that
It's very possible. The last
Okay.
time I shot somebody who had a heart transplant, the exact same thing happened.
This is what happens in Beverly Hills
Yeah.
adjacent.
Yeah. It's a tough neighborhood. It's
Yeah.
a tough neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then
Mark?
What? I mean, come on. You know me. That's how I roll. Packing. So then the third storyline, which I think is
Mark, before you continue, Josephina Robertson says, I am so sick about hearing about Daniel. Nothing against Sean Christian, but it feels like Daniel is mentioned 365 days a
Yep.
year. I lose count of how many times he's mentioned in one episode.
well, and I have to agree with the people too that say you talk about this and talk about him and how and I get it if you're a Daniel fan. Fantastic.
Are you a Daniel fan?
I am not. And there is no mincing words about that. But I think the thing that frustrates people is the constant, and I don't think it's necessarily that they're talking about Daniel, but that the people that they're not talking about. The people that are gone that should, like Bo, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
these are the people that they should be talking about, not Daniel.
Nicole talks more about Daniel than Hope does about Bo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that that's a lot of the frustration as well.
But I think it's because they're still going to put him into play.
Bo?
No.
Oh my God,
Daniel.
girl! He can't come back, girl. She ain't got a heart.
I was actually thinking, I think that
Spirit-wise.
Daniel or Daniel's doppelganger is going to come in, and I think that's going to be Ari's exit from the show.
I can't. If that happens, I will not be here that week.
You will be, because I will be so anxious to find out what you thought about that.
I mean, if you had,
Well, I think you already know the answer to that without me even being here.
if you hadn't let Sean Christian slip past you on the red carpet, you could have asked that question.
I could have said,
Are you
Sean,
coming back to steal Ari?
do I need to stop recording days?
Oh my
Let
God.
me know what day you come back so I can turn it off that day.
Oh, no.
Why? And I guarantee you that day, there ain't going to be no LA police chase in the streets of LA and then we're going to get preempted. No, it's going to be fine. A whole hour full.
Yeah, and when that happens, are they like, let's wait until Days comes on to have a...
Oh, it's always during
Yeah.
days. I'm like, girl, criminals, can you please?
yeah.
Girl.
Well, it's always during Days or during Wendy Williams because I do watch her and there's all kinds of stuff that's like, she's like, how you do? We have breaking news and I'm like, what?
I love how
break-
it was,
Yeah.
I love it was
How
that.
you doing? Yeah.
So then the third other storyline is Lonnie's detoxing,
Yes.
which I think she's doing a fantastic job.
Totally.
She
she
is.
looks sick.
Yeah.
Like, she looks like she's really going through it.
I mean,
Yeah.
but you look good, girl.
yeah, but she's a beautiful girl.
So last week when I was watching, I caught the whole like she was a prostitute storyline
Right.
with Snake and the halo and all
With
that
the
kind of stuff.
blonde weave.
With the blonde, which I have to say, it looked very 1990s. However, it looked good
I
on
did
her.
look good.
It looked
She's
good
so
on her.
pretty.
did like it
I
a
was
lot.
like,
I know,
okay,
I did too.
Lonnie,
I did,
girl, like,
yeah.
you look good.
So that would have been your 3 snaps last week.
Yeah, possibly.
Potentially. Or your You Go
Possibly.
Girl,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
It is now going back to the 3 snaps award.
Okay,
Seeing as how
okay.
I know you renamed it the You Go Girl award.
Every time it was brought up.
Yeah.
I told Mark last week that I'm so glad. Remember, they were going to let Sal go when they got rid of John Paul and Martha.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Sal was the third of that trio.
Yes.
I'm so glad that they kept her because this storyline is excellent.
Yeah.
And it really displays or showcases her acting ability, and
Yeah.
I think she's really killing it.
Yeah.
I think she's doing a great job. Me too.
I thought she was phenomenal.
And what do you guys think about her and Eli? Because I still don't know.
It's better than her and JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Because I
can't
kind
get
of
down with that.
like that too. So I wouldn't.
You like Lonnie and JJ?
No.
You like Lonnie and Eli.
Eli. And so I would like to see a Lonnie, Eli, Gabby triangle.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
JJ would be part of that though too.
Well,
because
that
of
would-
his pining for Gabby.
So that'd be a square.
Well, that would be interesting because Gabby has so much like hate with Gabby.
Right.
Well, Gabby has so much hate towards Lonnie about
For
what happened with
in
JJ.
Miami, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. That would be interesting.
But yeah, so she's detoxing. The only thing with this that I kind of was like, I don't know, was I doubt that they would let her out of the hospital if she was not completely detoxed.
Right, but
Like, that's
she still got the shakes, girl.
Yeah, well,
She
that's what I'm
still got
saying
the
is I just can't imagine that would have happened. But
But
you know,
why is everyone so anxious to get back to like work and stuff when they're not
I
completely
know, my
healed?
girl, enjoy the downtime,
Girl, I know I would. I'd be sitting in the hospital like.
Says
hello?
the girl who took a month hiatus.
I want to see Days of Our Lives.
That's why I was in the hospital, girl, enjoying my.
She
no,
was
I
not
wasn't
in the
really in the
hospital.
hospital.
Don't let her fool you.
No, I wasn't in the hospital.
Well, maybe cruise in the hallways.
I want to see Days of Our Lives bring True back, the character of Paige.
Oh,
because I loved JJ with her.
With better
That's
shoes.
been my
Better shoes,
right.
please.
That's been his best pairing.
Yeah. And I
But I
don't
wonder if-
want him to be a detective anymore.
don't
I
either.
don't want to tell him that. So shh, don't send that to him. I just like him as like a tortured artist.
Me too.
Yeah,
I mean, if there's anything, okay, if I get permission to go in the writing room and I could do one thing, it'd be like, girl, let's sit down and talk occupations. Because you need to, I love Nicole as the reporter, the
Yeah.
investigative reporter. Brilliant.
Yep.
I love
Jennifer.
Jennifer, I like her at The Spectator. I think
Me
that's where
too.
she should be. I love JJ as a tortured artist, musician,
Roman
whatever.
as a bartender.
Roman as a garbage collector.
I know Steve was the bartender.
No, now Roman is a bartender.
now
Oh, you
oh,
missed
Roman's
that, girl.
now-
Roman-
oh,
Roman's no longer
Who do you
working
think's
at the
running the
police
pub
sto-
now,
yeah.
girl?
Oh, girl.
Oh,
He
yeah,
is-
and
he-
she has nut allergy, we found out. You missed
you
that
see
one,
that one?
girl. Google
missed that
that.
one. I missed that one.
YouTube that
I'll
one,
tell you
girl.
after the show.
So those were the three.
Okay,
Unless you something else.
No,
Sorry.
so I just thought about this. It would have been great if they had done this. You said JJ being the tortured
Artist, yep.
artist, everything. What if they had kept with that and then they started doing something with him and Claire.
Yes, absolutely.
And they could have, he could
Absolutely.
have been the guitar person.
Well,
And-
because and Eve is also helped Claire, so it would definitely kind of bring that.
Loop
Yeah,
that all back in.
absolutely.
Oh, that would
and
have
then
been
Chloe,
great.
because you know
Yep.
she's a singer, songstress.
Yes.
Songstress.
That would have been
Songstress.
great. I would have
Whatever.
liked that. Ooh,
English is not my first
Songstress.
language. Pig Latin is my first language. English
who
is my
missed the
second.
mark on that in the writer's room?
Right.
Sad.
So then some little titty bitties.
Wendy Klein says Roman is dead weight.
Oh yes. Oh, can't like. I think Roman and Hope should fall in love and go on the boat for a trip. Okay. So next, there was a scene
Next.
with Kayla and Jade had a moment.
Ooh, girl.
Kayla was like, but although I have to say, Kayla clearly isn't thinking when she did that. Because they all know that Jade knows about Joey. So I don't get how she couldn't have gone, maybe I shouldn't be as harsh on her.
She was like, we don't like you. We don't trust
Yeah.
you.
I mean,
Stay
she did
away.
not mince words.
I do think that there should have been a better approach. Like, more like coming from a mother and saying, I think you should
Just move on.
just amend the relationship with you and your mother. I think she's there with open arms for you. I don't think we need to be in the way of that.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're gonna cut you off financially because I did hear that your mom wants to do that, and I think you need to work on that relationship and kind of leave us out of it.
Right, right.
And the Emmy goes to Scott Clifton.
Scott who? What? And then there was
Who's Scott Clifton?
Who's Scott Clifton? And I don't know if I told you this. I think I told you this. I'm sure you all saw my video of my reaction to Scott Clifton winning
Watch
the
it
Daytime
every
Emmy. Tony watches it on a loop. So in the video, when they announced Scott Clifton, I say, Scott Clifton, who? And for the record,
No,
those
you
of
say,
you...
say, who's Scott Clifton?
Who's Scott Clifton? Yeah. And just so you guys know, I actually know who Scott Clifton is. That wasn't a legitimate question. That was
Rhetorical.
very rhetorical. But what was funny was later that night when Billy texted me, his text said, and I quote, "Who's Scott Clifton?" And I was like, "Oh my God, girl, I gotta send you this video," because I literally said the exact same thing. So I just thought that was funny that we both had the same response.
While we're talking about the video, sidebar, sorry, we'll get back to Days, but this is what I love the video from top to bottom. It gives me
Tony will randomly text me during the day and just be like, "I just watched it 10 times in a row."
I did because it's like, okay, so he's sitting there and he's watching it and he's like, okay, nobody cares about it. Okay. And then he's like getting ready for like the announcement,
big win.
which cracks me up. And then they're like, and the Emmy goes to, and she's like, Billy Flynn, Scott Clifton. What? Who's Scott Clifton? Like it just. It cracks me up every time. And then he sits there for a moment and he's like, I'm done with you, Daytime Emmy. Like, I pictured that's like the only part that he watched.
I
No,
feel
I
like
watched
I was
leading up
just
to
gonna
it.
say the same
'cause
thing. I don't think you watched
I
it.
had to watch leading up to it because I didn't know when it was going to come on. So I did, but I did not turn it back on after.
No, yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
gosh.
Yeah.
It cracks me up.
All right. So then the other thing, back to Days. Sorry.
Yes.
And we have to. Okay. We have time. Trip and Joey show some brotherly love.
I loved that.
I actually thought it
Yeah.
was cute.
I think they're
thought the
great
rough
as
and-
brothers.
I do. I thought the little rough and tumble after they kicked him out was kind of like homoerotic. I was like, oh, girl, okay, that's a bit. We're going a little too far now. But I thought it was cute. I liked that Steve walked in and was like, "Oh, my boy."
Yeah, I like that
I thought
too.
that
It's
was
cute. And
That was cute.
that Stephen Nichols loves those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. And I think the other thing that made that scene really work was the fact that Roman had the day off.
Totally.
Okay.
I'm
so-
glad that Joey was alone to
Yeah.
start the scene.
Yeah. Go ahead. You have something else?
No, I would have to pull it up. Give me 1 second. I had tweeted out James Lastovic, and I said that James made me laugh out loud this week.
Although I wish Joey was a little more tougher when he was trying to get the guy to pay and everything.
Yeah.
Like I felt like he was just like no, dude, you gotta pay. Like, I want him to be like, no, dude, like,
Dude,
seriously,
like,
you
you
gotta
got
pay.
to take care of
like,
this,
either
right.
you gotta pay or you gotta go.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if you go, you still gotta pay. Like, something.
Right. Oh, the other thing I forgot when we were talking about Kayla and Jade is that later when Trip and Jade are talking, he suspects that Steve is covering for somebody, and he suspects Kayla, and then Jade agrees and tells him, yes, that's what's really happening, to kind of get back at Kayla. Sorry, I left that part out of that Jade and Kayla story.
Yeah.
But
I liked when he was like, I did pay, and Joey was like, no, you didn't. He was like, no, yeah, I did. And Joey said, I've been your waiter all night. I would know.
Girl, you didn't pay.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, and I think that was Jade's way of just being, like, angry in the moment and being like, I can have an ally at getting back at Kayla.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's Kayla.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Stupid.
There was a little thing on Monday where Dario asks Abby out, but it's not really a date, but they just went to dinner.
A non-date.
A non-date. I don't know if that's really important, but I guess it's leading them closer together.
That was, watching that, I was like, girl, y'all ain't.
And
y'all
she
ain't
brought
confessed love to
Thomas
each other?
Right.
with her on the date.
Which
and
made
stuff.
Chad
Yeah.
upset when he saw that.
Oh,
in
and
the
Kate
square.
was like, let's go this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was not having that.
And then there was that scene. There was a scene with Maggie and Deimos where she comes in the room, and of course we all think they're gonna get mad, and she's gonna yell at him, and then it's like, I just want to thank you for going to get Nicole, like a complete 180. But
Oh, good.
that was in there, and then other thing that I liked, and I did say this to Lamone when I interviewed him at the Daytime Emmys. I just really like, I don't know, I really like him.
Me
I
too.
like the character. I like his scenes, and I really love the scene with him and Valerie.
Me too.
Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
And that Gabe and Gabby kind of made them come together and made them sit and talk and stuff like that. It's still not resolved. He kind of left and banged his head on the door on the way out.
Much improved, however. Yeah.
That's per him. That's not me. He literally tweeted that
Yeah,
he
he
actually
did.
hit his head on the door.
I will say, as I popped back in, I thought to myself, y'all still ain't
haven't
resolved
figured
this
it
thing
out.
about,
Yeah, they still
about
haven't.
the father thing?
I
Like,
actually thought the same thing too, because I was like, oh, I guess we haven't resolved that yet.
But I actually, for once, don't think that they're dragging it out too long, because I think that it was a lifetime of being misled.
Correct.
So I think that hopefully in the near future it will be resolved.
and I think that other things, it's not like they've been having scenes of angst between them.
Yeah.
They just haven't talked about it.
Right.
And I would rather that, because they've both been doing other things.
Right.
They've had
Yes.
scenes with other people and doing other things. So that's fine. But it's when it's just scene after scene after scene of, I'm mad at you, I don't want to talk to you. That's when I think we all kind of get it.
I like that Valerie spoke to Abe, and Abe asked if everything was good, and she said not completely. There's definitely been some sort of improvement, though.
Right.
And I'm glad that there's improvement. At least he doesn't have a hate on her anymore.
Correct.
I mean, but I just kind of feel like you knew this was your father before she even thought about telling you.
Right.
So even though it's been a lifetime, you've had some time to kind of process all this. Now, the death, okay, but I feel like at some point you should have been ready to, like, talk
Yeah.
about it. But whatever.
Yeah.
What's tonight?
What do you mean?
Aaron Brody says, I'm crying already thinking about tonight. What's happening tonight? Now you've got me curious, Aaron. Okay, and then the other thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a scene with Jade and Claire again about this videotaping, or was that last week?
Last week.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Oh, and
And
our
stop coming
Melvin.
to that apartment, girl.
Yeah.
Our Melvin fan said Marnie, the casting director of Days of Our Lives, finally getting it right now with Lamone and Lucas Tripp. I think finally is a big word. I think that she's been getting it right. And we never said congratulations, Marnie Saida, the casting director of Days, on your Emmy win this year.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, she's killing it.
I think it's, you know what? I honestly think it all started getting better with casting Billy Flynn. Guys, guys, I'm over here.
Should
I'm
we,
over here.
should we leave?
Hey, guys, I'm over here.
You know my face.
If you're listening to this and not watching this, Tony is ear to ear smiles and drooling because I brought up Billy Finn's name. All right.
Lies
so,
and deceit.
Theo, there's a little clash of the Titans between Theo and Wyatt over Sierra. I guess my thing is, I would have rathered, of course I'd rather my idea, I would have rather have been Claire that set this up. I think that would bother Sierra more, that she's trying to keep Sierra away from Theo, than it works with, because I don't think what Theo did necessarily is that bad.
No, but for Claire, it will be. When Claire finds out that Theo set Sierra up with Wyatt, she's going to hit the fan when she realizes that he's still
looking out for
interested
her.
in, right. And then I think Sierra's going to be like, wait, you care that much about me?
Yeah.
I think it actually is going to come full circle.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I just think it's a little whatever. But I think they're both doing a great job. I like Wyatt. I don't dislike him. I like the character. I think he's doing a great job.
Me too.
I enjoy watching him.
Side note, while we're talking about Sierra, this whole thing with Sierra and Claire, the whole like rival, that whole scene with Victor and
yes.
Claire
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Claire coming in and saying
Wanting
like,
money.
and all this, and then having Sierra come in and be like, oh, I researched this and and there. Did anyone think like during that whole like investment research speech, did anyone else have the thought of like, are you that smart?
I know I did.
Like,
I completely did. I think
okay.
everybody thought that. You are not
Okay.
alone on that, girl.
I just wanted to make sure.
And then the only other thing that I wrote down was that we find out that Eduardo actually took a plea and gets 2 years in prison. So they kind of discuss that.
I don't care.
I do, because then there's hope that he's going to come back.
I hope he comes back
Selfish.
because I think that
Also.
he doesn't need to go. But just let's keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
That bit of information could have been discussed already.
Right.
Weeks prior.
Right.
Like when he left.
Well, sentencing takes time.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a song.
Sentencing takes time.
To heal when you're hurting so much. Couldn't see that eye.
All right.
No, you went into Mariah Carey. You tried to loop that in. Ridiculous.
All right. So that was this week.
That was it.
That was the week.
Woo, that was it.
That
Freeman.
was the week of days.
This has turned into Dishin Days, the musical.
Let's all take turns singing.
We should do a
Want
musical
to?
edition where we do
Yeah.
the whole show singing.
No, you know what?
We should do a whole
From
episode.
executive producer
Oh.
Julia Menounos,
Alexis, how dare you?
So hilarious.
I would 100% do it, by the way.
I think we should do it. Well, when
No.
Tony's gone, she'll take another
Dishin
vacation.
Days the musical.
Yeah.
I hate you. No, his whole number would be Billy.
You know what, though? Oh, it would be.
God.
But you know what would be fun, thinking of that, and maybe when, because I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that Jen Lilly will come back,
Me too.
is they should do a musical episode with Eric and Nadia and all these people that can sing on the show.
Yeah.
How fun would that be? Days.
I think General Hospital did one a couple
we
years ago.
We don't recap General Hospital, so I don't give a hoot.
What I'm saying is
let's
that
get
if
into
they
segments.
did it, Days could do it. You're lucky we're
That is
on
a
air.
perfect segue to get into our Days of Our Lives segments.
Oh my gosh.
Screw
Oh, and we'll start with mine. It's Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
You go, girl.
All right, so.
Did you miss that, by the way?
Huh?
Did you miss him saying,
You go,
Interrupting
girl?
you?
Yeah.
No, because I would, whenever he was like at brunch and stuff, I would just show up and just interrupt him.
Okay, so this week I had to give my 3 Snaps Award to 3 people. So they get a snap
Each get a snap. Okay.
Yes. So I'm giving it. I do what I want, Alexis. It's my 3 snaps.
I love it.
I was trying to
Oh.
type something to the chat and I forgot it was to put it on the soundboard.
That was
That was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Ah! Jinx! Ah! Buy me a beer. Go get it, girl.
Oh no, girl. What? This ain't the help part 2.
I'll have another one for my drag race recap. So I'll be in prime
Good
form.
and lit. So my 3 snaps goes to Xander, Eric, and Nicole.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I just thought that this week the storyline was so good, and I thought each of them were so good, and just added these different levels to that storyline.
Right.
That I was just like, y'all get my official 3 Snaps award.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congrats to Xander, Eric, and Nicole.
Perfect. And then our next segment, yes, a round of applause. Thank you. I think that's for me. Yes.
Moment of the week.
That's
There we
it.
go. So this week I actually have 2. There was one that bothered me.
So, disasters. Moment of the week.
Moments of the
Moments
week.
of the week. Sorry.
Disaster
Disasters.
moments of the week.
Alexis, we'll give you 2 minutes to fix
Right.
that audio.
The-
If you
Oh
could.
God.
So there were 2 this week. One that bothered me all week, which I'll get to second, but the one on Friday that we discussed earlier in the show was this right here. Gabby getting on a plane to go with everybody to
Well,
Greece.
you know that this, and what's funny about this, and you guys don't know this, and it's only because my husband's a flight attendant, is these are actually the new United Airlines uniforms.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, I believed him. I was like, oh, really?
And scene. Thank
You're
you.
Good
great.
job. And the Emmy goes
And
to.
the Emmy goes to
I
Scott
thought she
Clifton.
looked cute.
No. I'm not insulting her fashion. Actually, I'm insulting I'm insulting the fact that they put her in as a flight attendant. Like, for her to gain access to the plane,
Right.
it's just so far fetched. I couldn't.
Well, I will say this is that it's a private jet, so maybe there's a different way in.
Then she could have just walked up in her clothes and been
Right.
like, I'm going on this flight
Girl,
too.
like Mariah. Girl,
Yeah.
I am here.
Yeah.
I have arrived.
a seat for her and a
Yeah.
seat for her clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That just bothered me. But all week, this bothered me. And I know that you and Freddie Smith had a conversation on the red carpet about who had better hair.
Yes.
Which I do love his hair
Oh.
normally. His hair, he needs a cut. He needs a cut in the worst possible way. Those sideburns are too long. I was.
I
looking
don't
at
mind the
whole-
sideburns because
they're-
I have
they're
long
bushy.
sideburns.
I don't know. I love Freddie, but I feel like they're trying too hard to make him look like a businessman.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's the styling, and it just, to me, it just looks a little unkempt on the side. And
Yeah.
that was every time I looked at him, I was like, he looks like Elvis. He's got Elvis hair.
Yeah.
And my friend Kelly, I told her what I was going to do for the disaster, and she was like, leave Elvis alone.
Like, well, you just proved
Yeah.
my point, girl.
You
yeah.
leave Elvis out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are my disaster moments of the week.
Disaster.
There's moments. Of
Yeah,
the week.
you might have to re-record a soundbite.
Okay. All right. And now it is time for.
The ladybug to tell us what her
Mark's quote of the week.
is.
There it is. All right. So I got here today and I forgot to write it down. So I had to jump online and grab it.
Elvis Kiriakis.
So this is, and this doesn't happen very often, but someone's getting it 2 weeks in a row.
Oh wow.
And he's going to be delighted, and I'm sure he'll make fun of me and call me Hansy again. It's going to go to Xander again because I could not get enough of him calling Brady frittata. I almost peed myself. But there was a line, he says, I know Eric wasn't exactly anything to write home about, but at least he was better than Mr. Frittata.
Oh my gosh.
Xander is my everything.
I love him.
I mean, his line, they are everything that Victor should be saying, Xander's saying, and he's knocking it out of the ballpark. So, Paul Telfer, you are getting quote of the week 2 weeks in a row
Now,
because he was making me smile. all
I
week.
wasn't a co-host when you had Paul in. Did
Correct.
Paul call you Hansy?
Yeah, well, he called me Hansy on Twitter because when we announced that Billy was coming on,
Yep.
he tweeted Billy and said, watch out, she's Hansy.
Okay. Because
Which
I
is
feel
not
like
true. I would never touch Paul with my hand.
I feel like
Did you catch that?
yeah, no, totally.
Catch that?
I feel like Jordy called you Hansy.
Jordy sat on the other side of the table,
Yeah, well,
first of all.
that's how Hansy you
Is this
are.
the Bring Down
I
Mark
think
J. Freeman show?
John Paul called you Hansy.
John Paul did not call me He sat on the other side of the table, too. So,
Well,
whatever.
I rest
So
my
that
case.
was my, that was,
Mark's
that's it.
quote of the week.
And then fan of the week this
He's a
week.
mess.
Do you want to say the fan of the week?
Oh, well,
Because this was kind of a collaborative fan of the
Yes.
week.
so while I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, shout out to everyone that I met in Charlotte. There was a lovely fan by the name of Betty Jean, and she came up to me during one of the events and said, I took a photo with Billy. surely this will get me fan of the week with Mark. And I said, you know what? We will make this happen.
Yes.
So I came in today. I know it's weeks later, but I came in today and I was like, did you give Betty Jean the fan of the week? And we have not. So today we are officially giving
it to her.
Miss Betty Jean fan of the week.
Congratulations,
and
Betty
Billy
Jean.
did text me and tell me that I needed to give it to her as well. So, and I was going to that week, but then those other people that kind of popped in were I couldn't really postpone them because their stuff happened that week. So, Betty Jean, sorry it took so long, but you are our fan of the week. Now
Yay.
it's time for some news and gossip.
News and gossip.
News and gossip. Chandler Massey will be back on screen.
Can I say I'm floored because I am anxiously waiting to see how they're going to
bring him
explain
back.
this.
I know.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I know
Cannot
we don't
Yes.
typically do those kind of things in news and gossip, but I just thought this was
We
Well,
couldn't
it was-
help it. It was too big.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of have a rule. Maybe it's like an unspoken rule.
Right.
If we see it on Soap Opera Digest,
Right.
we talk about
Right.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
this was on Soap Opera Digest. It's out there. Like I feel like when we see things and it doesn't have the stamp of Soap Opera Digest, we feel like it's leaked. Like it's not
Yeah.
information that we should know. But if it's on Soap Opera Digest, shout out to
Then
Soap Opera
they've
Digest, then it's like,
made
okay,
the effort to give it to them.
Days has approved this publicity. We're
Yeah.
good. We're going to talk about it here.
Right.
Yeah.
So that has happened. June 3rd, the.
Oh wait, before you move on. Oh sorry. I've noticed that fans are kind of back and forth.
I did. I was going to say the same thing too.
Because
yes.
I see that a lot of people are. Everyone's happy that Will Horton is back.
Right.
Yes.
It is now. There are people who are like, "Ooh, I'm happy Chandler's back, but I wish it were Guy Wilson." Or people are like, "I'm happy that Chandler's back and that is not Guy Wilson." So we've seen
And
some.
there's the people that are not happy he's back
Yes.
because they like Sonny and Paul.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's I saw when we posted it on our Dishin Days page. So I was looking on there yesterday and saw it was pretty heated. So again,
Yes.
guys, keep it nice, keep it cool. You know, we don't want to be all nasty
No,
to other
it's a
people's
show
opinions
and we
stuff.
love it.
Right.
Yes.
The
And-
other thing too, since we're talking about that, is the poll that I did today for Mother's Day. Who's your favorite mom in Salem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, I can only choose 4 people in a poll. I couldn't include everybody. I was going to leave it open and just have you respond, but I always like to do the polls because I think they're fun. They were literally the first 4 people that came to my head. I wasn't trying to
Of
diss
course
Kayla.
not.
I did think of Kayla. I wanted to add Sammy just for a twist and for Daquan. Because I thought I wanted somebody that wasn't really a mom,
It's
like
a
the
fun
nicest
poll,
mom.
yeah.
So I'm not doing it because I don't like somebody, maybe Hope. But let's keep it civil.
And before we move on, I also want to say that Guy Wilson did a wonderful post
Yes.
on his Instagram with the day that it was announced that Chandler was coming back. And he was very happy that they were bringing the character of
Yes.
Will back. And said that he couldn't be more happy that Chandler Massey is back in the saddle as a steward of such an important LGBTQ icon.
Yes.
So he's like, whether it's
Yep.
him, whether it's Chandler, let's celebrate the fact that
Exactly.
this character is back on
I
the show.
agree,
So
100%.
kudos to Guy Wilson.
And kudos to Days of Our Lives for bringing
Yes.
him back
Yes.
because I think that was necessary.
Side note, if you haven't watched our interview with Guy Wilson, make sure you look that up
He
right
was
here on
great.
AfterBuzz TV.
He was
was
fantastic. and
wonderful.
we have one with Chandler too. It was the same
We
day
do
we
have
interviewed
Chandler.
Billy the first time.
Yes.
And did you notice? I don't remember which website. Somebody was tweeting about Billy's tweet about Chandler for his forehead kisses. He's like, "Watch out for my forehead kisses." They used our photo when they
did
were
they?
here in our old studios because I recognized it right away because
Yeah.
of what they were wearing. I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait a minute!" And they cropped us out because they were standing next to each other. We took a
Yes.
group shot,
Yeah.
and they were standing next to each other. This article, they used our photo from AfterBuzz. You're welcome.
Oh.
We better get credit for that because whatevs. So June 3rd is the start of Summer Bash in Toronto.
Yep.
According to Sabrina's tweet the other day, there's only a few tickets left. So if you are thinking about it, now would be the time to go get tickets on eventbrite.ca. Or follow Sabrina Fusile. I'm assuming that's how we say it.
Fusile.
Fusile. And her Twitter is, and she always tells me how to say it too, and I don't. Micheluzza 3. Micheluzza 3. And again, we'll post our interviews on the Dishin Days page. They are on YouTube.
And I'll put some clips on the Instagram.
And from your event too. Put stuff up from. Did you take pictures and stuff at the?
I did. I did an Insta story
Okay.
of it, so that was already posted that day. So
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then Matthew,
I'll say it in the end. I'll say it when we
All right.
go
So
out.
that's it.
Okay. That was great.
That was it.
That was fun.
We've
Welcome
made it
home.
through.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, we got to get out here. James Lott Jr. is going to come in here swinging.
We don't have any time for a phone call or two?
I think you guys have. Not really.
Yeah, they're probably drooling at the door.
To
get in here.
And there
We
is,
gotta make
I
sure everything
actually don't think James Lott Jr. is here, and there is no bold breakdown this evening.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, was that the announcement?
No.
Oh.
all right. Let's go around and tell everybody where you can find them on social media.
Oh, me. Hi, everyone. You can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com.
And I am Matthew Evan Paine. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew E. Paine. And in about 10 minutes, which would be
40.
let's say 5:45 Pacific
minutes.
time, I will be going live on Instagram Live. So follow me at Matthew E. Paine, and I'll answer some Days of Our Lives questions.
And PG, not R.
And PG, not R.
And then you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE. Woohoo! Welcome back, Mama Bear.
Well, thank you guys for all of your tweets and
Yes.
comments while I've been gone. I know I was a little silent about my
Sometimes
me
you
not
just
being
need
here.
a little
You gotta keep your
vacay.
private life
Yeah,
private sometimes.
but
Yeah.
I was also I got very busy
Yeah.
too all of a sudden, and so I couldn't, I didn't want to be here without being 100% Tony. So I'm back. She's
She
good.
is
Welcome
back,
back.
bitches.
Yes.
All right, that was it. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.